Computer, power on.
Power on.
So, starting a YouTube channel, will it work? Can I go the distance? Am I too late to the game? Will anybody even see these videos? Can I stay consistent? All these questions floating around in my mind. You see, I've been fascinated by cameras my whole life, ever since I can remember. This notion that I could save what I was seeing and hearing, hitting that big red button and seeing those letters appear inspired this sort of like feeling within me when I saw that. I thought it was the most amazing thing in the world, that we're literally capturing what we're seeing and hearing. We're capturing our consciousness. That's what's happening. As a child, honestly, it was really mind-blowing for me. It became my world. All these little captures were making pieces to a puzzle. Puzzle pieces, when assembled, can make somebody feel something, can make somebody think something, can make somebody understand something, change their perspective on something. The ability to induce an emotion into somebody that you've never met, to let someone comprehend what it's like to walk in somebody else's shoes through a medium, through an art form of capturing sound and light and then assembling it in such a way to tell a story, and in that moment you're totally distracted from your own self, your own ego. That, it dawned on me like, holy applesauce, this is the ultimate superpower, to share the grandeur of this thing called being a human, really. And it's all become so accessible. It's not like when I first started in this journey, I was recording onto like little mini DV tapes back in the day. The first video camera I ever used recorded directly to a VHS, believe it or not. Some of you watching this might not even know or ever even seen a VHS tape. Now we have an ability to be interconnected, to share and comment and like, have this greater narrative in the snap of a finger. Anybody can make videos, anybody can start a channel. Independent production has never been better in this day and age. I want to be a part of this sensation, because I think the real special thing about YouTube is that community interaction, right? So this is me taking a shot at being vulnerable and putting myself on camera to try this crazy world out. So the first line of business is getting a desk recording setup going. So whenever the moment of inspiration hits, I can flick on the camera and start rolling without too much prep or setup. Oh yeah, I've already actually rigged up some mounts at the back. We're gonna plug this, so boom, that's gonna go in there. Extend this a little bit, kind of just like that, through the mixer over here, because we're going to run the feed out of the mixer into the camera. Cable management, story of my life. It's probably like 20 feet. Boom, that's going into the mixer. Small HD monitor, something like that. Last piece of the puzzle. So now we're connected. Okay, now we're rolling on the GH5, and you can see everything that I've just set up. Let me see if I can tweak the settings a bit. Very bright, there we go. There we go. Maybe that's where we want it. You can see what a difference this little light makes here. I'll shut it off. Right? And I'll turn it back on. This will be the setup moving forward for now. Okay, so moving forward, I've dialed in the settings, the exposure, the lighting a bit more. Thinking about space, I plan to really develop a space in a way that is conducive for creation, where it can transform on the go based on how you want to use that space. So I've had a number of workspaces over the years, but I'm gonna have to dig deep into the archives to actually find some visual reference for you guys. But come, let me show you how I do it. So these are all of my hard drives right here, all of my archive hard drives that I use to store all of my files that I no longer actively need to use from finished projects and such. And I really find this is the best bang for your buck when it comes to storing large files and archiving. As I said, they're just cases. If you open them up, you'll see there's hard drives inside, and all you need is a hard drive reader, a hard drive dock that can plug into your computer through USB typically. I'll have a link below if you want to check out the cases and a hard drive dock. And this is really kind of the best system I've found for archiving and storing files, at least the most economical. So anytime I need a file, I'll open this drawer. I keep a list on my computer of what all the drives contain on them to know which is which. I'll grab the drive I need, pop it in my hard drive reader here, grab the files I need, transfer them to the computer, and there you go. Alrighty, so now that I've transferred some of my old files from my archives, I can show you guys the progression of my spaces. I'll focus on starting at 2010. While this defining period of my life really needs an entire movie of its own, we'll keep it focused to the evolution of my production spaces. At the time, I was just a student attending university here in Toronto, and I lived with my best friends in this tiny house in Chinatown. And I would record and vlog everything I could. All the antics and ups and downs, all the life-defining moments. I have hours of tapes.
It's a small bedroom, but it fits a lot.
Long before vlogging was ever popularized. This was my space. I lined every square inch of my walls with vinyl records, album covers, posters, music, art, poetry, and anything else that was a source of creative inspiration for me. It was the moments, the people, the attitudes, the city. This was my stage. This was my studio, and this was my story at the time. My personal space was my creative sanctuary among all the madness in this period. By the time 2014 rolled around, I was well on my way to being fully invested in the world of video production. I had been doing professional video production for a couple years now as I started my business in 2012, quickly building out my arsenal of production tools. But I was largely focused on the tech and acquiring the skills needed to put content creation at the center of my world. By 2016, I was at a comfortable enough point building out my arsenal of gear, my skill set, and saving as much money as I could to move back into the heart of the city in the Annex here in Toronto. So the place I moved into was a very unique house. It had high ceilings and a very unique aesthetic. It was bright, it was beautiful, it offered enough space for shooting inside, and provided separate areas for my desk setup with a great outdoor backyard space, big windows, and bedrooms as well. So we arrive at 2018, where I was finally at a point to find a space to call my own. I moved into a live-work loft setup here in the entertainment district where I currently reside almost 3 years later. This was my desk setup in the first year I moved in. A custom tabletop outfitted with IKEA supports, and I've been optimizing ever since. Now at this point in my career, I had accomplished quite a bit, finding myself in interesting places and in situations over the years, doing client work for brands, businesses, agencies, artists, and professionals. But of course, the past 10 years hasn't been all sunshine and rainbows, and a story wouldn't be complete without a bit of conflict and heartache. And sadly, there's been much of that along the way as well. Honestly, it's been a messy past few years of ups and downs. In order to try to find some fight again and to find my way, I had to really dig and remember my truths. The intrinsic joy and passion for light, sound, capture, story, perspective, connection, all the things I explained in the beginning. And in a single moment, I had this realization that I've been optimizing and building myself towards a career in YouTube my whole life without even really consciously realizing it, and that everything and every choice in my life has led me to this moment right now. So here we are, arriving at late 2020, where the fight for self-actualization continues, and I've now completed my newly re-optimized space, and I'm ready to share the final product with you all now. So here it is. Good starting point. I'm pretty happy. I set up all the lights in the background now, the light bars, as you can see. I've dialed everything in as much as I could. I think this is a great starting point, and I'm super excited to get going now that the recording setup is finished, at least for now. The journey to now has been a wild ride. I've spent the last 10 years really hustling in this industry, and I've built myself to this point that I now have all the tools to create, where I do have a space to call my own. So for a channel, I really want to explore the world of creating interior atmospheres that evoke a sense of feeling, evoke a sense of excitement in your own space. So we're going to do this through exploring the world of consumer products through the use of smart technology, through cool lights, funky lighting, through futuristic decor, to achieve these feelings of excitement and imagination, to really take your space to the next level in terms of the feelings it's able to create. So subscribe to my channel and let's take this journey together. Check back, keep me accountable. I'm open. I want to inspire a sense of community. I want to connect with like-minded individuals who share the same passions as I do. Follow me from the start and let's see how this spiral unfolds.